Hey there, baby girl. Oh, please. Keep your chin up, love. I am here for that date we talked about. Please, darling. I know it's hard for you to keep your eyes off me, but my face is up here. Thank you. Well, you should consider yourself rather lucky. Well, you somehow managed to convince, well, not just a demon, but a succubus to go on a date with you. I must admit, I'm rather proud. Like, who would have thought that the girl that I was interested in had such amazing flirting skills? I mean, as a succubus, I have to say, that is rather impressive. Oh, please, baby girl. Don't sweat it too much, okay? Alright. Come on. No, I'm not leading you anywhere dangerous. Or maybe I'm leading you into my little personal dungeon, where I'll do anything and everything I want with you. No, I'm just leading you to a cute little cafe. Because they serve the best coffee I've ever had and these cute little biscuits that they're to die for. And they have these neat little finger sandwiches that are just a treat to have. I'm leading you down this very dark and mysterious corner because, well, let's just say it's not a part of your world. Hey there. Room for two, please. Yes, for me and for the mortal. Oh. Yes, as I failed to answer, it is a completely run vampire cafe. Yes, everybody you see here is a vampire. Oh, please, I'm tired of that dumb superstition. Yes, vampires can go out at day. No, they're not scared of crosses. And no, crossing water is not that big of a deal. Well, the daylight thing comes from their pale skin. Because they're not technically alive, they have really pale skin. And because they don't have the warmth to keep their body awake, well, the sun kind of stings. It doesn't set them on fire. As for the crosses, that's simply because it's more of a religious thing. Most of the religious cuckoo birds back in the day used to try to hunt vampires. Some actually did maybe win. There's a one or two fringe cases where a priest would be crazy enough to get a kill. But here's the deal. Being stabbed in the hat? Kinda think everybody would die from that? Yes, they're immortal, as in they live forever, but they do die if they're killed. How does that work? Well, think about it like this, right? Everything has a beginning and an end. Yes? For a vampire, their beginning is when they are turned. And their end is when they are killed. Now, time doesn't really work for them because their body doesn't degenerate the same way that a human does. Demons act the exact same way. We don't die. We are just moving from one thing to the other. If we are killed, that's a different story. But we don't age to death. We don't die from disease. The more you know. Yeah. there are way too many misconceptions about the, well, how to put this in a human term, the otherworldly beings. Okay, take werewolves for example. Werewolves are not fully human when it's not a moon. Werewolves can shift freely. They are just affected by the curse on a full moon. And it's not really a curse, it's more of a birthright. The full moon just gains their power. Yeah, so they are always werewolves. They can always shift into werewolves. Just at a new moon, they are at their fullest peak of their power, and due to that, their senses tend to be a bit more, how to say, enhanced, giving them more of their animalistic feel. Vampires, on the same hand, they don't need to drink human blood. They prefer human blood simply because it's taste. Consider how you all like meat more than vegetables. Exactly. Now, you can take a succubus. We don't actually prey on your life force. We prey on your emotion. Demons don't actually try to take your soul. They try to take the emotions that you emit. Sometimes a certain demon might become greedy, and then they might be drawing from your life energy, but we don't have to. Mummies? Mummies are simply just undeads. They're just a class of undeads. The whole mummy thing really came about because back in the days, they used to wrap the dead bodies in linen cloth to preserve the bodies. So when undeads would rise from their grave, they would be wrapped around, and human logic for some weird reason decided to, instead of just calling them undeads, classify them as mummies. Which is strange. Now, the undead curse works in a very peculiar way, because there are brain dead undeads. Undeads who, even though they woke up from death, have not fully gained consciousness. Those are the common undeads that you see all around. The skeletons, the zombies, etc. But then there are the undeads like the lich and the lichens. Well, that tend to kind of mix between, because for the lich, they have full awareness of themselves, and as for the lichens, they're a mixture of both undeads and werewolf. Now we have to go down that road. Now you're gonna be, what's the difference in lichens and werewolf? I thought they were the exact same. Well, yes. Werewolf is more of a breed of wolf caused by a curse of the moon, where the lichens, on the other hand, they're more fabricated. They were kind of just forced to be wolves, so they're like this undead thing that's not undead but not fully alive, that is mixed with a wolf. It's very confusing, and most wolves try to avoid this topic because they hate being compared to each other, because they are very similar but they are very different things. Yeah, here we go. No, thank you. Yes, that was a headless waitress. Well, not really. Her head is probably inside watching TV or something. Oh, it's really the weirdest thing. Like, we have not even discovered how it fully functions. We can't really test and run tests on each other because, you know, we're not gonna run illegal tests on each other. But it's an interesting occurrence. Like, she has full awareness of her body and perception of the world around her, yet her brain and her eyes are functioning on something else. It's astonishing. You see the fry cook over there? How much would you bet if I tell you that he was a tentacle monster? You see all those things moving around him? He's actually using magic. Yeah. He is covering the tentacles and making them invisible. It's a neat parlor trick just to keep the kids entertained as you see the things floating all around them. It's really pretty, and for the younger kids who don't really understand all of that, they're amused by it. So, what would you have, baby girl? You want to know more about me? Well, I work a usual 9 to 5 job. I do taxes. That's about it. Yes, I'm a succubus that works 9 to 5 in tax. No, I'm not that crazy. We do run normal jobs. Well, being a succubus is kind of a double-edged sword, really. See, the thing is, people can't control their attraction to us. We emit this signal that attracts their hormones. Whether we like it or not, it's not something we can directly control. We all emit it in some low frequency no matter what we do. We can amplify it by actually showing off more sexual appeal, but we really can't control it, and it tends to be very misleading. Oftentimes people would fall in love with us because we smile at them too much, or our laugh just made their hearts flutter, or they simply saw us and they fell in love at first sight. Oftentimes we're mistaken because that would cause people to do all kinds of silly things for our attentions and bring a massive amount of misfortune. It's kinda why I work a 9 to 5 boring job. I dress in a boring manner and I don't really do much things with the great in the crowd. Oh, coming into your dreams? Yes, we fully have that power. Yes, and it's not just wet dreams. We control your dreams completely. We have the ability to enter any one of your dreams and manipulate it in whatever way suits us. Simply because we feed off the emotions of lust. Most succubists would tend to portray your dreams in a sexual manner. That way you would give us more emotions of lust. And that way we can feed more without having to feed on your soul directly. Yeah, it's more of a mechanism to make sure that we never hurt the person that we are feeding off of. It's a way that we came up to protect our significant other. That way our significant other can support us and can give us nourishment without us having to worry about hurting. Because when we're just learning of our power, it's something that we always have to worry about. Any mishap and we can completely drain the life energy of our significant other. Well, it's hard to say because we operate in the same way as like a vampire bite. When a vampire bites you, it emits this toxin that can become very, well, intoxicating to the person being bitten. They don't feel pain, even though it may look painful. The experience becomes enjoyable, almost. It's the same way for succubus. When we start draining your soul, you feel this high, this pleasure that's almost corrupting. You want more despite the destruction that it's doing to you. And it's something that each and every single one of the succubus ever need to be aware of. Myself personally, I have a bit of a darker side of things. I tend to get carried away often. My methods of fun is a bit more, well, crude, a bit violent and twisted. I do enjoy a bit of pain and excitement personally. And well, it can be something that's very tempting. It's almost corrupting, consuming, wanting. As you feel this heat build inside of you, you feel this searing pain just ache through your body with this rush of just pleasure afterwards, as you feel every inch of you just being corrupted more and more, this yearning coming in as you lose yourself, and then nothingness. So, as a succubus, I need to be very careful in the way I do things, with whom I do things, and what stage I do things. There needs to be planning, preparation, order, understanding. That's why I wanted to come here and talk to you. Bring you into my world, show you around, introduce you to the real side of, well, the monsters, quote unquote. Show you that there's a whole different world out here, not just what the humans say about us. That we too can deserve love and acceptance just like everybody else. And maybe later, I can show you how a succubus has fun, if you catch my drift. Okay, well, shall we get to eating? Oh, please, darling. I think we're gonna get along just fine. I can see this as the beginning to, well, our forever always.